guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy from nancybadillo.com, and on today's video I am doing a Etsy shop critique for the store named Sparkle and Dot Designs. If you're interested in viewing their store and potentially buying these beautiful items that she currently have that are hand stamped jewelry and key rings, make sure that you look below on the text description box. I will leave a link to her store. Her name is Tara. Tara, thank you for letting me review your beautiful shop. Let's go ahead and get started. So as I went and view your shop and saw your social media, I was very impressed. You have done a remarkable job at really doing all the necessary things you have to do to create a beautiful, cohesive store with beautiful items, beautiful pictures, logo, and everything else that comes with it. I will break down this tutorial into sections to make it a little bit easier, but I do want to say that overall, you're doing an excellent job with a couple tweaks here and there. I could honestly see you improving a lot more, but other than that, I mean, you're doing an excellent job. So the first thing is photography. That's like the first thing you notice when you are browsing the Etsy search results. That's the first thing I noticed as well. And you have done a really great job of using all 10 photos. And your images are beautiful, are clear. They're a great size to look at. I do notice that some of them are very competitive, like they kind of look the same. You did switch them around to show different angles, which is great, but I do feel like they're very repetitive. My only suggestion here would be to take a picture of the item with someone holding the item. That way they could kind of have like when someone's looking at it, they could kind of see, be able to scale the item. Also, I would say maybe add a call to action on the photo to encourage potential buyers to like view the listing description or to learn more about the product. So you could do like maybe at the end you could do like a call to action. Just put a little picture here that says click below to learn more, or click below to read listing description, and matching items, whatever you want to put, but just put like a little call to action. That would be nice to add. And then in the future, I would also recommend to take pictures in subtle backgrounds that doesn't distract from the item. But however, your pictures, even though the background is not as subtle, it's like a little darker wood, it's beautiful. To be honest, I wouldn't really change it. But if you had to change it, then I would say just do like a subtle background if you wanted to experiment and maybe do some with this background and some with subtle to see if people click more on the other ones, to kind of do like a split test. And that would be a great way to kind of see what works better. But other than that, those are my suggestion, is to one, maybe add a picture of somebody holding it, maybe and then also maybe change the background and add a call to action picture that encourages someone to one, click below. You could also, another thing you could do is you could add a call to action saying save this as your favorite. That way someone could click right here. And the nice thing about the favorites is that if in the future, if you ever run a promotion or you reduce the price, Etsy reminds those people that favorite your item or favorite your shop that that item went into sale, or that item now, or that your store added additional items. That's kind of like a subtle way to say, hey, like my item. That way later on, Etsy sends you an email saying, hey, your favorite stores have discounts, or your favorite stores have added additional products, and so on. So that's kind of like a way to increase your sales if you think about it that way, adding call to actions. The second thing I noticed is your SEO. The title is too short. So SEO best practice is to include the most important keywords towards the beginning, and that they have the most influence on SEO and clicks. And right now you have enough space that you could have filled this whole thing out as many. You're not going to be able to fit all 13 keywords, but the point is to fit as many keywords as you can here You did it correctly by separating them with commas. You could do like the little bracket that people put. I like the commas better, but I would say fill out the entire title, because how SEO works is that you have to have the keywords in your title, in your listing description, and then on your tags. And that's how the search engine, whether it's Google, Bing, Xe, they all work the same. That's how they know what your item is about. So the more keywords you fit, the more traffic you get, because it would trigger different keywords as well. So I would make sure that you add all your keywords here. You have enough space to do that right now. Your listing description, make sure that you include the keywords on the top. It's supposed to be in the top 90 words. Include the listed, you could include it up here. Make sure that you have the most important keywords that you're using in the beginning of your title. Those are the ones that you want to put here as well on the top of your listing description. You did do a great job describing the product right here. What I would do is use this description here, maybe shorten it down a little bit, or separate some of this so it doesn't look like a chunk of text. But then make sure that you add the keywords that you would put here in the title. Make sure that you add them in the beginning and then sprinkle them around your listing description. And that's the best practice for SEO in the shortest way I could explain it. Now, I also wanted to say that you did a great job with placing your item in the right category. And you did a really, really good job with that. A lot of times, if you place your item in the wrong category, the chances of somebody finding your items actually drop. The way that you could do this research and see if a particular item is in the right category or not is using XErank. I use XErank for all my listings, and they have a category tool, and you pretty much go in here and you type in whatever you're trying to find the category for. And what it does, it kind of tells you the top categories for that specific keyword. So if I was doing a wedding sign, 65% of people put it on the weddings, decorations, and signs. So if I put that wedding sign on home and home decor, only 1% look for wedding signs there. So it would be the wrong category for me. So this is a quick way to kind of, if you have doubts about other listings that you have, if you don't know if you put the right category, you could come here. You could put in, handmade stamp or handmade jewelry or whatever you handmade keychain. You could put whatever you want, and it will kind of like tell you where a big percentage of people are using, and that's where you would put it at, because that's the best place to that you're gonna drive traffic to your store. So then my next suggestion would be, and you did a great job with that, so that wasn't a suggestion, it was just a compliment because you did an awesome job with that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was your SEO. I think this is like the only thing I noticed that is like the major thing that you should work on your store is finding keywords that are not too competitive. And some of your keywords don't even they don't come back with data because because rarely anyone is using them on Etsy, so therefore they don't even collect data on it, you could say. And what you could do is, if you go to xerank.com, you could do a listing audit, which that's what I did. I did an Etsy audit on this one, on this listing on the Queen Hooker. And as you can see how these are red right here? That means that it's very competitive. That means a lot of people are using that particular keyword. So what happens is that if a lot of people are using that keyword, your listing is going to be on the bottom feed somewhere. Let's say there's 200 pages. You might be in the middle, anywhere like 100 page, or you might be on the 20th page. The thing is that people, including myself, I might browse to the third page if I really need it. But after that, I don't keep browsing. I won't go to, let me look at page 19. Let me look at page 20 and keep going. Majority of people don't. That's why you always want to be on page 1 or maybe page 2 the most. Page 3 is almost like pushing it. And then if you're further down, the odds of somebody finding your listing, it gets lesser and lesser and lesser. A quick way that you can see that a lot of people have this listing and sell too many listing is just simply by going to Etsy. If you go to Etsy, right? So let's go to Etsy right now. And you were to take that keyword and you type it in and you do a search, you're going to see that 307,000 listings have the same keyword. And that's why it's too competitive. Um, Also, when a keyword is very competitive, if you were to run a Facebook ad, or if you were to run a PPC ad, or even an Etsy ad, your click-through rate is going to be higher because everybody's competing for that keyword. So maybe a low competition keyword, you might pay 3 cents per click. A high competition keyword, you could pay $7 per click, depending on which platform you're using for running an ad. But you will see that there's some keywords you pay more than others. But the reason is because you're competing with more people, so they charge you more for it. So that's another thing, because if you are running ads all the time and you're like, wow, my ads are so high, my like the payments that you're paying for ads, it's because of that. And the chances of you being on page one, like these ads right here, are very they're low. You will get to page one, but you won't stay there all the time either, because what happened is a lot of people are paying an ad to have that particular keyword pop up in the search results. So now all these people are using that one. So Etsy has to rotate the ads to give everybody an equal chance. So therefore, you never are going to be all the time on page one. So that's another thing to think about. But when you do SEO, you definitely don't want to use. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's a lot of people are using it. I'm going to use that one." It's the opposite. You shouldn't use that one because it's too broad. So what you want to do is basically find tags that are um, not, well, obviously not competitive. You want to find tags that are low, very low, or medium. And even medium, you have to be a little bit careful, because if you find one that has over, like, let's say 10,000 listings, that's still a lot to compete with. Um, but it is way better than this one, than that very high, because you could run ads and you most likely will be on page one and two more frequent for that keyword than you would be for this keyword that's very competitive. And then you see how this keyword here doesn't appear any data. That's because even though some people might be typing this keyword or they use it as a keyword and you'll see other listings, it's not to the point that a lot of people are using it. So if a collective group of people are not using that keyword, there's no data that will come back for it. So therefore, I would say don't use it at all, because it's not even worth using it. And another thing is Sparkle and Dot. You have a beautiful shop name, but at the same time, it kind of works against you, because you see how it says medium competition? That's because a lot of people will type in sparkle or dots. Like, people look for that type of stuff. Like, it could be a wedding invite that has sparkles and dot or whatever. And that's the reason why you see that. And it's kind of hard to compete for your store name when the store name is almost like a color or like a detail of something. So if you put sparkle and dot, you see how many signs come with sprinkle, like with sparkle or backgrounds, you see? So it's really hard for someone to type that and find your store. I honestly, but right here, obviously, because you have the ad running, so that's perfect. And you see how you have 5,000 results. So as an ad, you will appear on page one. However, as a regular listing, it does take quite a bit more to appear. I guess you can use that to kind of brand yourself if you want to. I personally tell shops that unless you are already selling tons of products and you're a well-known store, that's when you go ahead and put it, because people are searching for your name. And I will actually put it together, like sparkle and dot without the space, That way, hopefully people will search you that way as well without the space, and then your store will pop up right away with all your listings. I personally will. What my recommendation is not to use that right now as a keyword. Use that as another keyword that could be a possibility of you getting a sale, and later on, once you get to a larger, even though you're doing an excellent job and you are making a lot of money right now, but once you get to a bigger stage of making more, then maybe start branding it and seeing if it is driving you traffic. If you see that inside your stats that you are getting tons of traffic with the keyword sparkle and dot, then leave it. But if you see that you really are not getting any, I would just remove it. Just add another keyword that potentially could drive you traffic right now. And once you build it up, then you can always go back and change all of them and add the keyword again. So that's just my recommendation. When you are looking for a medium competition keyword, I will keep it under 7,000. That way, when you run an ad, it will be easy for you to rank for the keyword, and then so you could appear in the first search results of Etsy. And once you do this all over, the green ones, like any really good ones that really describe your item, you will put them in the front of your title, and then you will put the medium ones, and then look at the medium ones, how many listings there are. The lower ones will go in the front, and then the ones that have a lot of, like, let's say you have a medium word that has like 5,000 listings, but you have another one that has like 7,000 and another one that has 9,000. So you would do the 5 first, then the 7, then the 9. You will put it in that order, in your title, and then you in the listing description. It really doesn't matter what order you do, and on the tags, you doesn't matter as long as you have 13 tags. But I would recommend doing your SEO again. I would recommend using XErank. They have a really really great tool. It's free. You could upgrade if you want. I've never upgraded, and I have all my um all my tags are correctly done, and I have a SEO grade of A, which means that I follow all the best practices for SEO without having to pay. But if you do pay for it, I mean, it's not that much, and you can also go ahead and claim that in your taxes. So it's a win-win either way. But I was saying definitely keep these two, change these. You could keep these as well. And then these that don't have no data, you need to remove them and put something else. Also, keep in mind that once you change your SEO, then you will need to go back to your store, and you will need to put all the keywords here, and you will need to put them in your listing description in the first 90 words. So that way you could be doing the SEO best practice the correct way. Um, Curating your shop, making sure that you're presenting a trustworthy, a cohesive brand, that you have shop policies, that you have an about section, you have beautiful visual work, and honestly feel you have done everything. You have done a great job with your shop logo. You have a tagline on your main page right here. You have your logo. You even have it on your pictures, which is cute. My only suggestion would be, and I have to do this in one of my stores as well, is put a picture of yourself here. I know you have it on the bottom. It's right here. I will even put, I'm sorry, that's not it. It's right here. I will even put this picture up here. It just makes it more trustworthy for a lot of people. And I mean, but overall, I mean, you've done a great job. You did a great job with the announcement. You've done a great job with, so right here, the announcement. You've done a really great job. You put your links here. I wish that these were clickable. Unfortunately, they're not. And a lot of people don't go here to kind of find them. Some people might look at your store in detail, but a lot of people don't. So I wish that Etsy would do these linkable, but they're not at the moment. But you did an excellent job with that. Honestly feel like you did a really good job with your frequently asked questions. I mean, I think you did more than the average person does, including myself. And that's amazing because I feel like that's the kind of work ethic, and that's the kind of work you have to put in to the shop to have a successful shop. And it's doing those little things that in the beginning they're kind of tedious and you're like, oh my God, I have to do all this stuff. And you actually went ahead and did it, which is amazing. So it just, I mean, everything that you put in here, I mean, just, I was just like blown away by how much information you have included. And, you know, you have your updates, you have pictures of your work. It's just beautiful. You've done a really, really excellent job. With the frequently asked questions, the only thing I think I saw that I had questions about, or not questions about, but my suggestion was to go back in there um, and space these out. And that's just for visual to appeal a little bit better. Like if it allows you to do it, like after folder, space it out, and then after design, space it out. That way it doesn't look like it stops there and starts here. It kind of like doesn't look as best as it can be. So just space it out. That was like my only suggestion that I saw that I would change on your frequently asked questions. So in that section, you've done a really, really good job. On listing descriptions, my only suggestion with this would be to first to write a killer description. And what I mean by that is to put everything and anything a potential buyer might have a question about, or my message you about. It's just better if you answer every single question that they might think of. One, it avoids them messaging you. Two, it avoids them leaving your store and saying, I don't feel like, asking, or I'm not going to buy from them. I don't, they probably don't offer that. They probably don't offer international, or they probably don't offer that. So just making sure that you answer any question that the potential buyer might have in your listing description. And I will also break this down a little bit better. So I would put like here description, and then kind of like, like how you wrote here, size of it. And then I will put how to order, and then blah, 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 blah. What's included, maybe that's like the name and the measurements and all this stuff here. And then maybe have a shipping policy, and then have that there. Refunds, and have that there. Contact me, and then have your information there. It just looks a little bit more broken down on what they're buying, what's included, how to order, shipping policy, refund policy, fees, and contact me or whatever. But just breaking it down into sections. And I do love that you have this backlink. A lot of people don't do this. My only suggestion for this is to kind of put it maybe a little bit more at the bottom. That way, when they finish reading this, if they want to leave your page or they want to browse, they could just click on it. Because a lot of people, what they do is when they go on the bottom, they'll click back, and that usually takes them back to the Etsy search results. So they actually leave your store. So by you putting that backlink, that's actually brilliant, because you're having them go back to your homepage, which is making sure they stay longer in your page. You could also do similar items, or matching items. So if you have a particular item that goes well with this one, I would say, click here to view matching items, or click here to view matching whatever that goes with that particular item. That's another way to increase your sales, or maybe they didn't buy that one, but they'll buy the other one. So just adding things like that. But overall, you've done a really, really good job. I would just say kind of fixing this a little bit more, the wording around. Maybe putting what is hand stamping on the top. Maybe a shorter list description. Maybe like who would this be, what type of gift for this would be better for who, I can't even speak, I'm sorry. What type of person would benefit from this gift, and then put the other part of the description there. Then go to description, how to order, and blah, 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 and keep going down. But shorten this down a little bit, or make it into different sections. And then also shorten this down a little bit if you're able to as well. But I love that you are very detailed with your listing description and what they're buying. So you've done an amazing job there. I looked through your reviews, and that's another thing that a lot of people miss out on. When they get a bad review, they never respond, or if they respond with like a with an attitude. I mean, I'm guilty of doing it one time, and I'm like, I've never again did it again. But you've done a really good job with it. You're so professional. I went and read one of your bad review. Oh, it wasn't even that bad of a review, but it was a bad review, and you did an absolutely great job at responding back to the review. And if I was reading the reviews and I was gonna buy in your shop, that would make me want to buy even more, because it's almost like, oh, okay, so it wasn't the store's fault. The person never reached back or never asked questions and they got upset when they got the item. So it's really, not anything that the store did incorrectly. So my biggest takeaway after reviewing your store and kind of browsing everything is your SEO. I think for the most part, everything else is really intact. You've done a really good job with your reviews. You've done a good job with adding updates, with your about section, with your policy. You have videos, you have images. Your images are beautiful. Your work is beautiful. So it's not, something that I would look at and be like, oh, why would I even buy that? It's beautiful work. I mean, I would buy some of your items actually. You have an appealing store. You have branding. You've done a really, really good job. You have location. You do international, which is amazing as well. So you've done an extremely good job. The only thing would be is the SEO. That's what you need to fix, because at the end of the day, all of it works together. Like your pictures, your listing description, your branding, everything comes together. But SEO is one of the vital components of driving traffic to your site, to your Etsy, because if people can't find your products because you're on page 50 out of instead of being page one, you're on page 50, and people are not going to browse that far back in. You're losing clients because of that. So, if you work on your Etsy, um, I mean, I can't even. You're just gonna skyrocket. I mean, you have an extremely beautiful, beautiful shop. I looked at your social media, and you do an extremely good job with it as well. You have a nice banner. You have the same logo, which is great. You don't want to have like different logos everywhere you go. You confuse people. You're doing a really good job. You have your name, so that's excellent. And you post. You know how to pin stuff on the top, which is amazing. And you post on a regular basis, which is very important as well. I like that you bring a little bit of personal appeal to your page, and you're connecting with people by not only showing your products but also showing a little bit about yourself. That's so important to do, especially when you're a small business, so you could connect with other people, and they could find you credible and trustworthy. So you did a really, really good job with Facebook. I saw your Pinterest the same. You get an average of 13,000 monthly views. You have a lot of nice boards. What I would recommend is this. I know that you have your items spread out in different boards, which is great. I would create additional boards. So I would create one board with all your items as well. So you could continue repainting them here and then adding additional stuff here as well. But I would add a board right there. So for instance, let me see if I could show you what I mean. So, oops. So this is one of my Pinterest account. And I did this in the last 90 days, but I just gave birth to my baby. So I've been, to be honest with you, I haven't put the effort like I should have, but I did a lot of it, to be honest with you. While pregnant, while at home, after I gave birth, like in the last 90 days. And I grew this account from, I think I was barely getting 80 views a month. I think it was really low. Now I'm sending about 700 clicks. Well, for the month of July, I already have 700, and I think it was like 80 when I checked yesterday, clicks to my Etsy shop. And what I tend to do is I put all my pins on the top right here, and then anything else that I pin from Pinterest that doesn't really go to a page that is not mine, I put it in the bottom. And then I also do add my pins to these, like you did on yours. I add my pins to these. But my main boards are always going to be on the top. And all of these are stuff that if somebody was to click on it and buy, or click on it and go to that page, I make money, whether it's an affiliate link or whether they land on Etsy. The bottom ones are just to kind of grow my account, because unfortunately, with Pinterest, you have to pin every single day. You got to pin like all your stuff. You got to pin other people's stuff. And that's how you get this massive monthly views. And the more monthly views you get and the higher it keeps growing, the more traffic you actually send to your Etsy shop. A lot of people are like, I just don't understand, because out of your 19, or well, I'm at 22,000 pins, let's say, I don't know, 3,000 are mines and the other 18,000 are pins from Pinterest. How are you driving traffic? Well, people do click on your link here, and people do click on these. I mean, I'm getting this month almost 800. I went from maybe three Pinterest, three clicks per month on Pinterest to Etsy. Now I'm at 800. So if I keep growing this, eventually I'll drive 1,000 people a month. And this is organically, without paying Pinterest ads or anything. So it's amazing. Pinterest could really, really work for your favor. It looks like you honestly know what you're doing. You're to a great start with Pinterest. So my only suggestion was to add boards on the top up here, or add one board, because you don't have like that many products like I do in my shop. So you could just add one board and have all your items in that one, but keep adding them to the other ones. Keep repinning, keep growing it, keep doing that every day. Even if you spend 10 minutes a day, every single day, it will make a drastic change at the end of the month. You're 13,000 monthly views. When you least expect it, you're at 20. When you least expect it, you're at 50. And then it keeps growing. And the more that grows, the more traffic and potential sales you can land as well with it. I've landed a lot of sales ever since I did that with Pinterest. So it does work. Instagram, I'm sorry, Twitter. Yeah, you've done an excellent job. You have your logo, you have your name, you have the same bio profile, which is great. You have amazing pictures. So it's really, really nice. Like, you honestly done an extremely good job. You have your link. You know how to pin, which is, excellent. And things like that go a long way when you know what you're doing, and you really are trying. You have your hashtags, which are important. So you're doing a really good job with it. I mean, everything looks good. It's pretty. You have a nice banner as well. So in that sense, you're doing good. With Pinterest, it's the same thing. Try to tweet, I would say 3 to 4 times a day if you can. That's like what I do in my account. By doing that, I've been able to grow my account with a lot of followers. Like, for instance, right now I have 138,000 followers, and I do pin constantly. I mean, tweet. I keep saying pin. Tweet constantly. Add your tags like you're doing as well. Add pretty pictures. Make sure everything looks really nice. But you're doing a really, really good job. So in that area, just keep doing what you're doing. I would follow a little bit of people, maybe every day if you can. Don't follow too many people, because Twitter is very strict with spamming. So if you do a little bit every single day, like maybe 10 people a day or 5 people a day, don't do bulks of following, because you could get your account suspended. And that's pretty much on any of the social media platforms, because they don't want you to spam, and to them that's considered spamming. So, but other than that, I mean, you're doing a really, really good job. Um, Twitter actually has. I used to run ads on Twitter, and I used to get charged like 6 cents per click, and it was a lot cheaper than Facebook and a lot cheaper than PPC ads, and it was so worth it. So if you're ever interested, I would say try to play with it. But Twitter ads, I mean, you could get it for very low clicks. I don't know why it's so much cheaper than the other platforms if it's the same keyword, because I would run the same keywords in, let's say, Facebook, and kind of target the same people. and it would be so much more. So my only understanding of that would be that Facebook has so many other people running ads, so it was very competitive versus Twitter. I don't Even though a lot of people do use it, they don't use it as much as Facebook or Google AdWords. So therefore the cost per click was so much cheaper. So I would honestly recommend for you to do that if you can. And then I was gonna look at your, oh, here you go. All right. So this is your Instagram account. It's very cute. You have your logo. I love that you added the link tree link that drives you to different places. I love that you started using the new technology with the, I don't even know what the names of these. I have to add mines and I haven't done it yet. But it's really really pretty. You have beautiful pictures. I love that you have personal pictures in between. It's not too much. Some people, they have their business page and every picture is like a selfie, or this is what I ate this morning, and this is another selfie, and then and it just doesn't look professional. And even though, you want to put a face to your brand and you want to let people in and introduce yourself, you just don't want to be all the time putting a selfie or something that's not professional. You've done a really good job. You have a picture of your cute doggy and your beautiful family, and it's just really nice. It's nice to see. It's something that if I was buying your product, I would follow you. I would like all your pictures probably. I would be like, oh, this is cute. Wait, no, this is cuter. No, wait, that's cuter, because it really does look good. I love these pictures, by the way. You've done a really good job with them. I like your color scheme because you kind of stuck with the same color scheme. So your Instagram is very cohesive. It looks very nice. A lot of people Instagram's account don't look cohesive. It looks too many colors or too, it's all over the place. Yours is not. Yours look very professional, very nice. I like how you did this with the review. So yeah, it looks really really nice. My only suggestion with the reviews, I would put the first page, I would put something like, thank you for all your support and all the great reviews, and then do a slide with the reviews, because when you look at it like this, it doesn't look as it doesn't look complimenting. It doesn't look that great. But if you do it that way, like if you do, let me show you what I mean. So on my account, um, I have pictures like of my son. This is my newborn. And sometimes if I don't think I have one right now that I could find. Okay, so right here. This is when my son was born. Because I have a cohesive look, like I have this template and I got a picture, then color, picture, template, picture, color, and then keeps going that way. You see how these go with these go with these. So this day when my son was born, I didn't want to break the cohesive look. So what I did was I put a regular template in the top, and I put welcome to the world, Jordan Noah Cam, that's my son's name. Then when you click on it, I have the pictures of him when he was, this is like, he was his first day when he was born. But you see the difference, because that, if I would have put this picture as my picture here, it would have messed up my look of it. So that's why I did it this way. I put this picture, and then on the back end I put his pictures, and it just looks more professional. It looks nicer, to be honest. I think um, that's just my opinion. You don't have to do it, because it actually looks, your page looks really good. But I think it would look better if you did that. Like if you had a page, like a main thing that said, "Thanks everyone for your amazing support. Here are some of my reviews that I've received lately," or reviews, or it doesn't have to be long or anything. You could just put reviews only. And then when they slide on it, all the reviews are in the back end. That way you don't have a box of text on your page like this, and someone else that doesn't really understand what this is, they're going to be like, what is that? So that's just my only suggestion I had with Instagram. Also, I would say if you play around with sponsor ads, I would do that. I would take this And something like this to have a lot of pictures and run an ad and see how you perform. And then you could drive those people to your Etsy shop because you have beautiful products. I think you will do really well with Instagram ads as well. And the nice thing about Instagram ads is that if you do that, then you'll start growing your shop. And lastly, I wanted to mention when you do hashtags, a lot of people say do hashtags with high volume, right? So you want hashtags that have like over 1 million. Don't do that. The only reason why I say that is because yeah, I use them. I use the high ones. But what happens is that those like this one here, motivational quotes. Look how many people are using that. It's almost like the XC. Think about it as XC SEO. It's the same thing. A hashtag is a keyword. A keyword is how people find you. So if someone types in motivational quotes, they might find your product. But what happens is if that 9 million people are using the same hashtag, when you put your picture, let's say this is your picture here. Once you put your picture up here, so many other people are using that within minutes, that picture is like down here. And then within an hour, you can't even find your picture no more. Now it's on the bottom feed. So therefore, you're not getting the traffic. You're not staying up in the feed that a lot of people are viewing it. Some people, a lot of people are viewing it, but in a blink, it goes all the way down to the feed. So for instance, you see these pictures here, right? So I've been talking about this maybe less than a minute. Where did the picture, see, where did that picture go of that lady? I mean, it's crazy to say that it's already down here. Hold on, did I move too fast? I mean, I can't even find it, so it's probably somewhere in the bottom feed right now. Let's keep going. I can't even find it. Let's do another one real quick, just in case I'm overlooking at it. So let's say this one here with a yellow background. So if we refresh the page, that's all I'm doing. Look, it was up here a few seconds ago. Look at where it's at already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people posted within 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and refresh again. So it didn't move that much right now. But if you keep doing that, you'll notice that that picture eventually is going to start shifting more down and more. It shifted a little bit more this way now. So it's going to start shifting and shifting. And within, let's say 5 minutes later, you go back and your post, let's say that was your post, is on the bottom of the feed. Now, these posts up here, you see how up here says top posts? The reason why they're up here is because with that keyword, they're the ones that got the most like and the most comments. So if you are getting a lot of likes and a lot of comments, then you could use the bigger ones, because for the most luck, you will land up here. And these stay up here until someone else knocks you down, until someone else that has more than you, then you get brought down here to this feed. However, if you don't have, like this person got 4 likes, they're not going to come up here. They're not going to be featured on top posts. On top posts, either you got to go viral or you have to have tons of likes, or well, viral, the same thing, right? Or you got to get at least 400 and up. Even 400 sometimes doesn't cut it. But if you have a lot of engagement, which means a lot of people saw it, a lot of people commented, then that counts. They calculate that in, they factor that in there, and they still keep you as a top post. But let's refresh it, because we've been talking like what, like a minute and a half. You see the guy that was on the side, he's not there no more. And let's look, he's already down. Look at all these new people that are using that tag. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 67, 19 people posted, and we were talking maybe for like 40 seconds. And that other picture, look, is already on the bottom. So it keeps pushing your picture on the bottom. So what I would do is don't use tags that have this many posts. 9 million is too high. You got to find keywords, or you want to say hashtags, that are under 1 million I like to use a lot of them that are 50,000, 40,000, because then what happens is that even if I get like 30 likes on that picture, I stay on the top of the up here on the top post for a long time. I mean, sometimes I'll go back and it'll be hours later and I'm still up there, and that's driving. And then that increases my 30 likes. I end up getting a lot of times like 133, or sometimes I get, on good days I get a lot more. It just depends, but it really does help. So you want to make sure that you're not using keywords that are too high. And the easier way to know that is just clicking on it and just looking at the number. Like this one is extremely high. Look at that, 28 million. So this picture here, within seconds, is going to be pushed down, and no one's going to see it again because so many people are using that particular keyword. So you have to keep that in mind. And right now, sometimes you refresh like 2 times and you don't see anything. But if you keep doing it, within a minute, you'll see the big difference that I'm talking about. You start seeing people posting, and within 5 minutes, let's say, that picture is like all the way in the bottom. You don't want to be on the top for 5 minutes. That's nothing. You want to be up there for hours. That way, more people see your stuff. Therefore, you drive more traffic to your Instagram. One, you grow your Instagram followers, and two, you send Instagram followers, potential buyers, to your Etsy shop as well. So these were my suggestions for your store, Tara. I think that you are doing an extremely, extremely good job. If you have any questions about anything that I spoke about, you could email me. You have my email. I will email you this live video. Obviously, you're watching it now, so you have it. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for letting me do a review, and have a good night, guys.